final home game at Food City Center tomorrow. Got ample time for you guys to talk to them, and we'll jump right into questions here.
Well, I'll say, first of all, let me make a comment,
Go for
Alex.
it.
But first, I want to thank Bert. 26 years putting up with me is quite a remarkable feat. But when I was named the lead announcer of the Vol Network, my first job was to find an analyst. And Bert, I know he always sat at midcourt every single game, and I knew there was nobody more invested in Tennessee basketball than Bert. And I was just fortunate. He said, yes, finding an analyst is tough because you got to find someone who can make the road trips and be gone all the time. And Bert was able, through his company, to work that out. And we went a lot of places and saw a lot of games and been through a lot of coaches and just had a big time. So I want to thank Bert publicly for doing that.
Well, Bob, I want to thank you too. I wouldn't have done this for the last 26 years if it wasn't for Bob. We're great friends. We've had a great time together, and although he used to kick me under the table early in the game, telling me I can't say certain things on the air,
It didn't stop him, though.
I learned, and it's been a great run. And one other thing I'd like to say is my family's here, and Bob and I've literally been on hundreds of road trips. And I can remember my wife Sheila, my 3 children, Lily, Brownie, and Hank, were at home and they were little. And I was going off for 2 or 3 days or maybe a week, and Sheila had to handle them by herself. And their love and support has been super instrumental in me being able to do this for 26 years, and my hat's off, and I love them all. And I hope I don't start crying.
When I was working at WIBK, I covered Bert when he was in high school, playing at Bearden and going up head-to-head against Elston Turner and all those great matchups they had. And what a great player that Bert was in high school. And then when he came to Tennessee, I was working at WIBK and got to cover him when he was playing with Ernie and Bernie and all those great teams they played on. And, I'm proud of Bert. He played on 3 NCAA tournament teams at Tennessee. He still holds the Tennessee record for assists in an NCAA tournament game with 16. So Bert was a really good player, and I think he's been a really good analyst, and I think the best in the SEC. So I've been blessed with that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Any questions? Yeah,
Well,
Rick.
Bert, you've had a lot of money calls, no doubt about that, but what will you remember most about your 26 years broadcasting or analyzing alongside Bob?
I think the main thing is the relationships. I've met so many great people, UT people, UT fans, our opposition, the other radio guys, the TV personalities, will really stands out. But I think what stands out above all is the great basketball that I've been able to see and be right there on the court and be at a lot of practices and get to know a lot of great coaches and great players that have come through over the last 26 years. And there's too many to mention, but UT's a first-class program, big time, and they've treated Bob and I really well. And it's just been a blast to cover it. But the people, Rick, would be the thing I remember the most.
How would you feel about Zakai breaking that NCAA assist record maybe in your final game?
It would be fine if it's in the Final Four. If he breaks it before that, it won't be so great. But I think this guy's working on the single season record, right? He's got 220 or something. What an amazing player. It's been an honor to cover him.
I've told Zakai about that record, so he knows about it. So hopefully he'll be motivated to maybe break it. And Bert wouldn't mind if he broke it anyway.
I wouldn't mind a bit.
Bob, you've done this for a couple of decades before Bert was your partner. So, how long, Bert, did it take you to feel like you weren't just kind of a guest analyst?
I still feel that way.
We did TV games together for about 3 years maybe?
3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, we did. There was a Vol Network TV package. So Bert and I actually worked together on TV for a couple of years, and then when I got the chance to take over as the lead announcer, Bert was the first guy I called. So we had a little chemistry already, but I just told Bert, say whatever you want to say, yell and scream, but when the ball gets to midcourt, give it back to me. And he's done that consistently, so that's good.
Bert, when did you kind of make the decision, and did Bob retiring factor into that at all for you guys to go out together?
Well, honestly, I was thinking of retiring last year, and then Bob and I talked over the summer, and he said he thought he was going to go one more year, and he didn't come right out and ask me or put any pressure on me, but I said, well, I'll go with you one more year. Now, I've missed some road games. That was part of the deal, the traveling was kind of getting to me. But I'm glad I did stay another year with Bob, and it's fitting that we're going out together because he's a Hall of Famer, and he's great leadership, great professionalism, and a pleasure to work with. And the Vol Network's been the same way. Steve Early, Glenn Thaxton, Brandon Parks, and all their staff have treated me in a first-class way the whole time. And I respect them and I admire them for that.
Tell them about your first meeting with Edwin Huster about taking the job.
Yeah, I met with Edwin and Bob and Steve and Glenn. We went to lunch, and Edwin was he liked to give me a hard time anyway. I knew Edwin.
Edwin was general manager of the Ball Network at that time.
But he said, Bert, there's 3 things you can't do. You can't be a homer. In other words, you can't show favoritism to UT. You can't referee the game, and you can't coach the game. In other words, second guess the coach. And I said, well, I'm not your man. And he said, why? And I said, well, you're right on one of the 3. I'm not going to coach the team. I'm not going to second guess the coach. But I'm surely going to criticize the referees. I think your fans, and it's the Vol Network, so how would I not be a homer? He goes, okay, we'll let you go with that.
Yeah.
He was good with it.
Is there a favorite memory you have in all the games you called?
Every game against Kentucky that we win is my favorite. But there's been so many that it's hard to even count them. I can remember when Kansas came in here #1 back when Pearl was here, and we knocked them off. We were shorthanded that game. That stands out. But winning in Rupp Arena, I would have to say, would be the highlight.
How rewarding, Bert, has it been to watch Tennessee's program kind of elevate nationally over the last 25 years?
Oh, it's been tremendous. It really has. Coach Barnes and his staff and all the people that have worked in the program are top notch. And I love the way the players behave, going on the road with them, their character. They're all fine young men. And it's really fun to watch them grow as players and as people. And I wish I got to know them better, but what I know I really like, and it's great. Our program's been talked about all year, and we've got a great shot to go deep in the tournament.
You were a great high school athlete here. You stayed in the community, business, philanthropist. And you've been well known since you were 18 years old around Knoxville. What's it been like to probably be well known or have more celebrity as a second career because of money and a broadcaster? I mean, there are probably people that know you for that don't even know you played until their parents tell them.
Well, it's been great. It's been great, and the money thing kind of grew. I played with a guy named Terry Glenn, and he used to say money in practice all the time. So that's where it came from. And then Chris Lofton, his long-range shooting really took it to another level. And at times people say, you didn't say money enough during the game, and I feel like I say it way too much. But it's been rewarding. It's been fun, and I didn't do this for the money, that's for sure. I did it as because it was fun, and it was fulfilling, and it was exciting, and it was and being buddies with Bob, it was a natural thing, and I love UT basketball, so it's been great.
What about the "talk to me" catchphrase? Is there another good story behind that one as well?
I don't know that. I think I heard somebody else, and I just stole that. But I've had some positive comments about it, and I get wrapped up in the game. And one of the things that my father taught me was love of the game, but also whatever you do it with enthusiasm and energy. And that's what I try to do. I try to bring energy to the broadcast. And Bob's got to do a lot of other things as the play-by-play guy, much more difficult job. Me, I just, like you're sitting at home watching a game, and I just try to say things that'll help the audience understand what's going on. And I think when you're enthusiastic, it helps.
Obviously, there was a good amount of success when you were a player here, and then it was kind of up and down for a bit. There was at times there wasn't. Did you sort of maintain faith the whole time that something like this could come back again where you're a contender every year here?
Yeah, I did, because Tennessee wanted to be good. We just couldn't get the right coach, and coaches come and go, and we just didn't have what it took leadership-wise. But once we got that, there's plenty of resources here, and who wouldn't want to come here and play? It's a great place, and so yeah, I had confidence we could be at this level.
Bob, you touched on it a little bit, but in football you have 4 or 5 road trips a year.
Mm-hmm.
In basketball, you guys have been together for 6 months. You're on the road for maybe a month now. Can you delve into a little bit of just how much was part of the fabric of each other's lives you've become because of that?
Well, usually if it's a Saturday game, Friday nights we go to dinner someplace and we talk about different things. We go to shoot arounds and be around and just be around each other so much. And so I've watched his kids grow up, and he's watched my kids grow up, and it's just been the thing is, what's made it special is not only do we work together, but we're actually friends. I mean, we do a golf tournament for Helen Ross McNabb. We do a bunch of different things in the community. Bert's so active in the community. So it's more than just a partnership in broadcasting, it's a friendship. And we've had it for, 40 years, I guess, doing stuff. So it's been special.
Anything else? You doing this just to get away from Rick?
I had enough of Rick yesterday. No. And Bert will tell you, we have so much fun with Coach Barnes, and he's one of the most unique coaches I've ever been around, and Bert will probably back me up on this. When he's on the floor, I've never seen a coach more intense and down to detail. But when he steps across that line, you don't know what you're going to get. Practical jokes and stuff. I mean, it's just amazing. And that's what's made it fun. I mean, it's really been a lot of fun with Coach Barnes, and I marvel at how he prepares his team. I marvel the relationship he has with his players, the character he has with this program, and just what he's brought to Tennessee basketball. So we've been fortunate to work with some really good coaches, but Coach Barnes is right up there near the top.
And the one thing about Coach Barnes that you can count on is his teams play hard. They play hard, they play great defense, and they play hard. Sometimes they're off offensively, which all teams are. But his teams, when you play against Tennessee, you better come to play. And that's fun. That's fun for us over there.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I've always thought about in broadcasting is I'm never going to be negative unless the team doesn't play hard, unless they're loafing, and then you can't get behind that. That's never been an issue with Coach Barnes' teams.
You talk about Coach Barnes when he's not on the floor, when he's away, he's a jokester and he's a lot of fun to be around. And I got the first glimpse of that, our first NCAA tournament game we were doing together. I keep a little card in my wallet, that says the last word from Coach Barnes is brought to you by First Horizon. And I use that card so I don't mess up the close before we go into the broadcast. So we're getting ready to play our first NCAA tournament game. And I take my wallet out and I get my little card and I lay the wallet down. And we do the interview, and I say, thanks, Coach Barnes, and good luck today. He said, okay, thank you. As he's leaving, he picks up my wallet and steals my wallet. And he's running down the hall with my wallet, and I'm chasing him back into the locker room. And he's hiding in the locker room with my wallet. And I'm going, we're an hour away from an NCAA tournament game, and he's doing this kind of stuff. But then guess what? He goes out, and his team plays great, and they win an NCAA tournament game. So that's what you deal with him. And it's just amazing, his focus, laser focus, when they tip the ball up and they start playing. And that's what's so amazing about him. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and thank you for saying, I hope, some nice things about us down through the years, and appreciate the coverage, and thanks, and support the basketball team going forward. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Thanks.